Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I am so glad you guys are here. I appreciate you all coming out. We're going to have a good time tonight. I wanted to look good for you guys tonight. So I've been exercising, trying to lose some weight, take care of myself. Also, recently somebody called me ma'am while I was facing them. Yeah. I mean, sure, from the back it happens all the time. From the front, that's a new plot twist. To be fair, I was showing a lot of cleavage that day. Right? Show a little side boob, get some free gas, right, ladies? No, it didn't work for me either. All right, cool. But now I don't know which bathroom to use, all right? And look, I know you ladies would freak out seeing me in the women's room, but I've been freaking out dudes in the men's room for years now. Picture yourself a dude walking into the men's room and seeing this washing up at the sink. Yeah, guys, I can see you in the mirror checking the sign on the door again. I can see that. And yeah, I wash my hands because I'm a classy lady. But I got to do something. I got to lose a few pounds. I got to do something to justify these pants, all right? Because they are tight in all the wrong places. Let me tell you, my nuts are taking separate vacations right now. You know what I'm saying? And I do exercise, and the experts say that you're supposed to change up your workout routines every so often so that your muscles don't get too used to what you're doing. And so they call it muscle confusion. So what I do is on Monday, I lift weights, and then I do it again 6 months later. My muscles are hella confused. They're like DJ Khaled in a bookstore confused, all right?
And that's a joke for a certain age group. Yeah, sorry. Sir, you don't look like you know who DJ Khaled is at all. And your life is better for it, honestly. And But DJ Khaled is a guy who, if we're being honest, trespasses in recording studios and makes his living yelling his name on other people's songs. I had no idea that was a career option. I am working too hard. I could roll up in the studio and just go, Phil, and split. I'm working way too hard, man.
But I do exercise, and I feel good after I exercise. But you know what makes me feel just as good in less time? Cake. Cake is awesome. You ever eat so much cake your heart starts beating fast? That's cardio in my book. Thank you, Red Velvet. We've hit our target heart rate for today. We are good. I read recently that the average male thinks about sex 19 times a day. Apparently, I am way more into donuts. A lot of donuts happening up here. Just trading one hole for another, I guess. But it's all right. They're all cream-filled. Look, anyway. You look a little freaked out. I don't just have sex with donuts, lady. That would be weird. I always mash it into a woman first. So it's not creepy. It's a joke, you guys. Now you're all freaked out. It's a joke. It's a joke, comedy show, ha ha. My girlfriend is purely a bagel chick, all right? They're harder, it's more fun for her. Look,
my girlfriend got suspicious when I started working out because she read in Cosmo that when a man in a relationship starts taking care of himself, he's looking to cheat. And that is because Cosmo makes shit up. Their job is to keep you paranoid and self-conscious so you'll keep buying amazing headlines like how acting like a cat will get people to come to you. That's a real article. I was like, what's the advice? Scratch the furniture and lick your crotch in public? That may gather a crowd now that I think about it. Like if you do it, miss, not if he does it, right? That's the difference. He does it, call the cops. You do it, get the cameras. Instagram wanted poster. That's the double standard. I mean, ironically, only one of you has actually probably tried to lick your own crotch.
So my girlfriend was like, so what's the deal? Why are you working out all of a sudden? I said, look, honey, I'm getting older. I want to feel better about myself. I want to be here for you for as long as possible. And I get distracted when my back fat jiggles during sex. Too close to home for somebody on that one? I feel like I lost a few of you there. I don't want to be distracted when I'm trying to think about donuts. That's not cool. So we started exercising together, my girlfriend and I. We go biking for exercise. And when my girl rides a bike, she looks like she's exercising. I look like I don't own a car. Like somehow she's losing weight and I'm losing face. I don't know how that works. People are driving by me, raise the minimum wage. I'm like, not on my way to work. It's cool. Got a better job than that. Doing pretty good for myself, actually. So I keep trying. I got this app for my phone that suggests exercise routines. Like it'll say, do 3 sets of sit-ups, do 3 sets of pull-ups, do 3 sets of stop going to Taco Bell. And doing good with the first 2, yeah. Because I love Taco Bell. I love Taco Bell and I love Mexican food, and those are not the same thing. Taco Bell, that'd be like grabbing a Barbie doll and going, well, I don't need a real woman now, do I? It's the illusion of Mexican food. That's all it is. It's Chris Angel in the kitchen going, it's cheese. And you go, that's amazing, because it looks just like cheese. But I know it's not, because real cheese would get moldy sitting between my car seats for 6 months. I don't know what it is, but it's not cheese, man. Have you looked in a Taco Bell kitchen recently? 3D printer. Just a dude in a lab coat printing your gordita. Just I don't know why he makes that sound. The printer's pretty quiet, but hey, I did this the other day. I put that word gordita into the old Google Translate to find out what that means in English. Don't get ahead of me. Turns out gordita means fat girl. Yeah. All these years, Taco Bell's been going, come eat our fat girls. All right, nom nom nom, body positive Taco Bell. I like it. Do you know what burrito translates to? Burrito is little donkey. Yeah, fat girls and little asses. That's what we're serving up at the Taco Bell. Fat girls and little asses. This one you probably don't know. Soft Taco Supreme translates to old lesbian. So the nice thing about this exercise app is that it shows you a picture of how to do the exercise, because you can't always tell just by the name of the exercise. Like it said decline crunches, and I was like, I decline crunches all the time. No thanks, I'm good. But I no longer feel like I'm exercising and stuff just to add a few extra years to the end of my life. That's not it. Now I'm waiting for science to catch up. Because I don't want to die of a fatal heart attack and the next day Apple comes out with the iHeart. Right. I mean, I don't even like Apple, but buy an iHeart if I need one. I mean, yeah, it costs 3 times as much as an Android heart, but comes with the cool little white earbuds. So get the good stuff. Because we mix a lot of technology into our biology now. We got bionic ears and eyes and limbs, and that's great, except for we haven't fixed all the problems yet. You're going to be sitting at home on your couch going, I can't remember the password for my pancreas. And it's just going to create new problems. You thought finding your charger was an emergency before? Yeah, wait till your heart gets down to 3% battery. You got to go into that limited low power mode, and yeah, your heart keeps beating, but you can't check your email and your dick doesn't work. But there's other biological things that technology hasn't touched on at all yet, like childbirth. That's still pretty archaic, you know? The doctor comes in, all right, ma'am, we're going to squeeze that baby out through your front butt. Here we go. Ooh, sorry, that's probably not the best move for that. Anyway, it's like that. Some people like it. Look, anyway, what? The problem is that every baby's first job is to destroy something beautiful. Because every baby's got to come into the world like Kool-Aid Man. Just, oh, yeah! Right? And it heals, they can fix it. The doctor's like, look, right now it looks like New York at the end of an Avengers movie. But, rubble, we can fix it. I'm just saying we need some technology. We need like an app, like a baby app, like Grubhub for children. Right? Press a button, baby shows up. We'll call it Labor Saver or Labia Saver, whichever way you want to go with that.
Because I think in the future, when a child asks, where do babies come from? We should be able to say, Amazon, like everything else. Right? Prime, free shipping. You don't pay shipping on a baby. It's expensive. They're all made in China now. My girlfriend and I, we don't have any kids, which is, it's kind of a shame because she loves to watch people fall down. But parents always love to tell us that parenthood is the hardest job in the world. And I'm like, cool, that's why I'm not interested. Besides that, I don't think anybody should be able to get the hardest job in the world by accident. Right? Talking to your buddy, hey man, how was your day? I think I'm head of NASA now. I mean, I walked in, and I was real excited to be there. And I didn't walk out in time. And now I'm the head of NASA. I should buy a book. No, dude, that's crazy. What did NASA say? NASA said it was on the pill. That's what NASA said. So, no kids for us. I asked my girlfriend, I said, why don't you want kids? She said, terrible return policy. Right? You can't take them back to the guy and be like, hey, this one's an asshole. And it doesn't get any of the jokes in Deadpool, so it's gotta go. You can't even take them back to Costco, and Costco take anything back. But they know you didn't buy it there because they only sell children in 8-packs. We get this one a lot now. People are like, oh, well, you guys are getting older. What if you want a baby later? We'll get a used one. There's plenty of aftermarket babies out there. Plus, you know, with the new ones, as soon as you get them home, they lose half their value anyway. So it's not even a good deal. I don't know how the human race got this far with these weak-ass babies we have. A 3-year-old lion can take down an antelope by itself. A 3-year-old human can't take down its pants without getting tangled up. Even your 3-year-old dog is fully house trained. A 3-year-old human will shit itself at the mall and lock eyes with you while it's happening, like, yeah, it's going down now. I do not need that in my life. This is the other one I get. People go, well, look, if you don't have kids, who will carry on the Johnson family name? How about the 2.2 million other Johnsons in this country? I don't feel a lot of responsibility to a name second only to Smith to names you'd check into a hotel with a mistress with. It is the second most common last name in this country, and that just means I get to share my last name with a bunch of cool, interesting people. I'm going to throw the Johnson family reunion and invite Dwayne and Magic. It'd be great. I'll be there at the reunion with my friend Jamal Johnson. Somebody be like, hey, you guys brothers? Yeah, just one of us. Now, the name Johnson obviously means son of John, and the name John is derived from the Hebrew Yohanan, which means Yahweh is gracious. That just means if you go to Yahweh's house, he'll offer you a drink and a light snack. You know, probably something kosher. And so the name John first became popular in 104 BC during the reign of King John Hyrcanus. Then, of course, after that, there was John the Baptist, John the Apostle, John the Toilet, all the famous Johns. John the prostitution customer, John the unidentified body, all of them. So the name John has been popular for over 2,000 years now. That means even 1,000 years ago, somebody was going, halt, who goes there? I am son of John. You're gonna have to be more specific. Are you Dwayne or Magic? Neither. I am Howard Johnson. I own a small chain of motor lodge hotels that only people over 50 remember. $50, my goodness. Why would you not use a reference that a younger audience would get? Because nobody knows who Dakota Johnson is, even though they've all seen 50 Shades of Grey. And when I Googled famous Johnsons, all I got was a list of gay porn stars. So no kids for us, but if we did have a baby, we would have a half Asian baby. And oh, sorry, I should have mentioned that my girlfriend was Asian. You guys figured it was obvious because I'm white, but somebody looked at me like, "Were you gonna buy one?" Or we would have a half Asian baby. Half Asian babies are the cutest babies, bar none. Right? I'm not even gonna say it's gotta be white and Asian. You can mix Asian into any baby and improve that baby. It is very fittingly the MSG of babies. But picture this: Asian baby, cute. Mexican baby, cute. Mexican Asian baby, the future. That's a time travel baby right there. And the first Asian that can grow a real mustache. By the age of 2. That poor girl. See, because that's the thing, you don't get any control over how the genes mix when you have a kid. You got no control over that. And that can get messed up. Because imagine this, adorable, cute Asian baby with my nose. Yeah, ooh, that is cut with too much Italian. Yeah. That is some stepped-on Asian baby, all right? That is no good. But if we get the gene mix just right, it'll work out perfect, because my girlfriend got a little tiny Voldemort nose from Harry Potter. Little tiny Voldemort nose. Finding sunglasses is her biggest problem in life. It really is. Which, by the way, is the reason you only see Voldemort out at night. Because he can't be out there during the day like, "I've come for you, Harry." "I've come for you, Harry." It's not gonna work. So we get the gene mix just right. We got an adorable little baby with nice eyes, pretty eyebrows, nice nose. We get it wrong. We got a baby who can smell like a hound dog, can't see shit because the eyebrows are hanging over the eyes. And I don't want people to go, "Oh, look at the baby. Do you live near a swamp?"
Speaking of, I was in Florida recently, down there in America's Drip Pan, and I was driving to a gig in Fort Myers, Florida, and I saw a road sign that said, "Tarp your load," and I thought, that is the worst safe sex campaign that I've ever seen. So I stopped at a Wendy's for lunch while I was on the way to the gig, and I walked in, and the guy behind the counter went, "Hi! Would you like to try a triple Baconator today?" And I said, "Oh, no, my health insurance won't cover that." They call it a triple because that's how many bypasses you'll need. So I ordered a little burger and some fries and a little salad, and the guy goes, "Can I get a name for the order, please?" And I said, "Yeah, sure, my name's Phil." And he went, and he wrote down F-I-L-L. And you guys, in that moment, I realized that I am a homophone. Homophone, 2 words that sound the same, but are spelled different, right? 8 and 8, pair and pair, witch and coulter. We know how it works. Anyway, look. Some of you looked scared, like I said homophobe. I did not say homophobe. I was not mad that he was gay. I was mad that he was stupid. Because I said Phil like the Latin prefix for lover, and he went, "You must be a bucket." See, because there's no reason to hate on people because of the way they were born, right? That's a waste of calories. Nothing's going to change. And I feel like in a city like this, that's pandering. In some cities I play in, that is a goddamn revelation, okay? Like I was doing a gig when I talked about my girlfriend on stage. This guy comes up to me after and he goes, "I don't like Chinese people." I said, "Well, I don't think they're going to stop being Chinese for you." As if in Beijing, they're going to be like, all right, everybody, we're laying off the Chinese thing for a while. There's a guy in West Virginia doesn't like it for some reason, but 4,000 years, pretty good run, pretty good run. That's it, eyes wide open, we're using forks now, people. It's not going to happen. It's ridiculous. My girlfriend's Chinese. I've never once seen her stop being Chinese. I mean, I'm not there all the time. Maybe when I'm not home, she's on mayonnaise and NASCAR, but when I get back, all her shoes are still by the door. So I think she's going to stick it out. That's not entirely true. Whenever she hears hip-hop music, she goes, yo, 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 yo. That is the whitest shit I've ever seen. So there's no good reason to hate on people because of the way they're born. Wasted calories. Nothing's going to change. There are plenty of other good reasons to hate people, all right? Plenty. I will give you a good example. I was doing a show one night. In the back of the room, there's a table of 3 women talking through the entire show. Chatty, 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 all right? And don't do that. To a comedian, that is like texting during sex, okay? Just sidebar. Mentioned that on stage one night. I said, that is like texting during sex. I see a lady at the one table elbow her boyfriend. I was like, hang on. I said, did he do that? And she said, yeah, he tried to convince me that was sexting. Guys, eyes on the road when you're going through the tunnel. Eyes on the road. No. So it's a table of 3 women at this gig, and they're yakking away in the back row. And I've been doing this a long time. I just ignored them, you know. And then the waitress walked up to their table, and the leader of the group says, loud enough for everybody to hear, we're all gluten-free. Boom, hate time. Now we can hate. Now we can hate. Oh, you got 3 celiac disease victims at the same table? What are the odds? It must be a meetup. Now, look, if you actually have a disease where you need to eat gluten-free, by all means, please eat gluten-free. But if you one time accidentally ate a large pizza by yourself and felt bloated, you're not gluten intolerant. You were drunk and sad. That is a different affliction. So I'm thinking about all this while I'm waiting for my food at the Wendy's in Florida, because they are slow there, man. You got a lot of time to think. They are slow. I mean, they are slower than a turtle on heroin walking through molasses trying to get an evangelical church to support women's rights, right? Like, they are slow. Slow. Finally, somebody comes out and goes, file, order for file. And I took my food and I went out to my car, and I noticed in the driveway of the parking lot 2 cars had stopped, and a lady had gotten out of the back one and gone up to the front one, and she is screaming at the guy, punching him, screaming, punching, screaming. He's screaming at her, punching back, screaming, punching. He jams on the gas, jerks the car to the left, knocks her flat on her ass, and goes screeching off. Yeah, I pulled my car up. I said, oh my gosh, are you okay? Do you need help? And she went, I'm fine, leave me alone. And she hobbled back to her car and went screeching off, and I was like, that is the most Florida-ass shit I've ever seen. Check that off the Florida tourism bucket list, right? Because you go to Florida, you got to see Disney World, you got to see some gators, and you got to see a white trash Cirque du Soleil. I had food. It was a dinner show at that point. I was, all right. And of course they were white trash. That's the only option there. Because if she'd been black or Latina, she'd have slashed all 4 tires before she hit the ground. Those are strong women not to be trifled with. And there's no way she could have been Asian, because Asian people do not air their dirty laundry in public like that. They just don't. She would have just quietly poisoned him in his sleep that night. Many people don't realize how many times we do these jokes to perfect the wording, the timing, the delivery of them for maximum laughter. So here's just a few of the hundreds of times that I did one of the jokes you just saw. I was driving out here, and I saw a road sign that said, tarp your load. And I thought, that is the worst sex campaign I've ever seen, man. May have mentioned my girlfriend is Asian. My girlfriend's Chinese.
but the Singaporean kind, not the communist kind. She doesn't make shoes or iPhones or dinner, for that matter, but... And I know certainly where we live, the whole white guy, Asian girl thing is very stereotypical now. Black guys date white women, white guys date Asian women, Asian guys work a lot. But we've been together since before it was a thing. Back then, it was hard for a white guy to find an Asian girl willing to risk ruining her credit score. My girl's credit score is so high, they're gonna retire her number and hoist her jersey to the rafters. We were at home a while back in our respective offices doing some work, and she yells over, "Hey, can you get a credit score higher than 850? I said, "No, I don't think so." And she went, "I win!" Which implies I did not, you guys. So we've been together a very long time, and over the years we've had our share of culture clash, race things pop up, that just happened. And like one night we were getting intimate, and I said, "Yeah, girl, back that thing up." No, to the left. To the left. No, back this way, back this way. All right, just pull forward and try it again. And then she hit someone else. So, now look, that joke really isn't fair. My girlfriend is a very good driver when she can see over the dashboard. Not because she's super short, she just leans so far back she could be in a Mexican gang. That's how she drives. But she did help me write that joke, and that's the best part of it. Because if you've ever been in an interracial relationship, you know that that's the stuff that you tease each other with. And there's no malice behind it, because we're sleeping together, Somebody hates a group of people, they're not sleeping with them. They're secretly looking for porn about them on the net. Check the browser history of any KKK member, you will see a search for big booty black Jew. Guaranteed. So that's how we tease. And she loves to get me. Her favorite one is anytime I point up, she goes, "Oh God, you're not gonna dance, are you?" She was driving to work one day and she texted me, "Man, I hate Asian drivers." I texted her back. I said, "Why, did you cut someone off?" But here's the thing. You can't walk up to an Asian driver and say, "Oh, wow, you do drive very well," right? That's a microaggression. When you say something that you meant to be a compliment, but it kind of comes off as racist instead. Like you can't say, "She's really pretty for a black girl." That's kind of backhanded. You have to say, "She's really pretty for a girl." Well, then you're assuming that they identify as a female. So you just say, "Really pretty," which is objectifying women at that point. So you just say, "Really." Well, then you're assuming that they identify as a three-dimensional being on the visible plane. So, well, I guess the lesson there is if you have something nice to say, don't say anything at all. But you do have to be careful what you say. You can't walk up behind my Chinese girlfriend and go, "Oh, wow, you actually have really good peripheral vision." Can't say that. She doesn't. She hates that joke. And when she tells you she hates that joke, you should probably stand directly in front of her, is all I'm saying. But you want to talk microaggressions? How about every time we go to a Chinese restaurant with her family, I get offered a fork? Not just offered, offered like I'm a 12-year-old in a helmet. The waitress walks up, "Hey, little guy, how are you?" How am I? Literally taller than everybody else in this restaurant right now. Why are you down there? "Oh, that's great, little guy. Hey, would you like a fork?" I say, "Hell no, I don't want a fork. Bring me those tiny drumsticks." Then I twirl them like it's a solo. Start stabbing my food, one in each hand, till she finally goes, all right, we should have had Mexican." because she knows I love Mexican food. I do. One night, she said, look, you love Mexican food so much. Maybe you should have hooked up with a Mexican girl instead. I said, I want a burrito, not a baby. All right. All right. Fear not, I've composed a rebuttal to your discomfort. All right. See, you're assuming that I'm talking about like teenage mothers, unwed mothers, unwanted women, unwanted babies, those women who are like, I didn't know I was pregnant, toilet. Not them at all, all right? Because in the Latin community, teenage pregnancies are at an all-time low. They finally figured out that it's expensive to throw a baby shower so close to a quinceañera. So even taking that out of the equation, adult married Latina women have the highest birth rate in the country. It's 2.3 babies per woman, and that's not a bad thing or a good thing. It's just a fact, a statistic. That's all it is. And it's not even that far from the low end, which is white women and Asian women, 1.8 babies per woman. That's only a difference of 2/3 of a baby, you know? I don't know what you do with 2/3 of a baby. I think Madonna eats them to maintain her immortality, But then if I am a man who does not want children in my life, it behooves me to not date a Latina or a Mormon. Oh, I see, that's the same joke, different group of people, you guys. How were we better with that one? And certainly not a Latina Mormon. Oh my God. Woo. Oh, that is a woman that's spraying babies like the National Guard at a protest rally, all right? That is the AR-15 of birth canals, you guys. She got a baby bump stock on that thing, is what I'm saying. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, she's got a vagina like a Jamaican rapper. That's what I'm saying, all right? So the nice thing about all the interdating and intermating and intermingling is that eventually we're all just going to end up as light mocha people. All the old stereotypes will go away, which would be great. Then we'll make them new ones, because human beings are assholes. I was talking to a guy one night, and this girl walked past us wearing white jeans. And dude leans in, he goes, hey. Now, first of all, any guy that starts a statement with, hey, does not know what he's talking about, all right? If you got a doctor that goes, hey, you got cancer. No, you don't. He doesn't know. So a girl in white jeans walks past us. Dude leans in, he goes, hey, you know when a girl wears white jeans, it means she likes anal sex. I said, hey, man, so no anal after Labor Day then, huh? He didn't get it. Now, being with a Singaporean girl means getting used to eating spicy food. That's very important in her culture. And I was never a spicy food guy before her. I really wasn't. I like my food like I like my women. Safe to eat without a burning sensation. And if you were offended at that being a sex joke, don't be. That's a cannibalism joke. See, so much better as a sex joke now, right? Reframe the problem. That's what I say. But I don't get it. Spicy food, to me, that is just taking an enjoyable activity and making it painful. And I'm not down with that. Like all that 50 Shades of Grey stuff, that's not for me because I enjoy reading. But she likes food that requires a safe word. She really does. And my safe word is milk. And she loves to watch me eat spicy food. She laughs at me. Laughs. I said, why do you laugh when this Chinese food is causing me pain? She said, railroads. Taking one for the team, you guys. All right. So I've gotten used to it over the years. I know that if we come out of a Singaporean place or a Thai restaurant, I am going to look like I just ran a marathon and was maced at the finish line. Just tearing up, sweaty, beet red. Sarah McLachlan singing a song to find me a new home. For just 10 cents a day, you too can supply this poor animal with Maalox and Rolaids.
Now, science has shown that there are 3 things that create the same chemical reaction in your brain as sex. 2 of them are laughter and music, so you're welcome. I've been with all of you this evening. The 3rd thing that creates that same chemical reaction in your brain as sex is spicy food. And that one tracks because after both of them, you're like, well, I'm sweaty, lightheaded, my asshole hurts, it must be over. What I don't get is that they say spicy food is an aphrodisiac. That doesn't make any sense to me at all, right? You ever go out for a big spicy meal with your mate and then just want to go home and slap your gas-filled bellies together for a while? Of course not. You're going to go home, sit in the bathroom for an hour, and write 10 minutes of comedy. That's what you're going to do. So I got to tell you guys this story. I have been clean and sober now for 38 years. Some of you are applauding, some of you are doing math. You're like, he looks good for 60. No, that's not it. See, I have learned that if I say I'm clean and sober, you guys applaud my bravery and persistence. If I just say I don't drink, you guys go, yeah, right, confused silence and booing. That's what it is, right? Because you're like, look at that guy, look at that hair. That's Budweiser hair. How is that? I get it. But I've never been a drink or drug guy, and don't get me wrong, it is not a moral call by any means. You guys have another drink, order another drink, drink up. Your drinking is keeping a lot of people employed this evening, okay? The bartenders, the wait staff, feeding their children because you're drinking tonight. Drink for the children. The brewers, the distillers, the truck driver that delivers the liquor to the bar, the guy that sells the donuts to the AA meeting, feeding their children. Because you're drinking tonight, drink for the children. I believe the children... No, I'm not going to do that. So, yeah, it's not a moral call. Order up another drink, you guys. It's like you're doing charity work, you know? It's, don't do so much charity work that you get pulled over on the way home, is all I'm saying. Sir, you were swerving back there. I was swerving for the children. Why do you hate children, Officer Onky Pig? So the reason I don't drink or anything like that is because addiction runs in my family. And we did our DNA test. It said we're 90 proof. My family tree sways when there's no breeze. You know what I'm saying? So I've always just stayed away from it, but you don't get any credit for staying away from it. You only get credit if you mess up your life and then come back from it, right? Like if you're talking to a guy who's like, I was messed up on drugs and alcohol, lost my job, my house, my family, I ended up in jail, but now I'm all cleaned up and I'm doing great. And we go, yay, that's fantastic. And that is fantastic. And then I go, I've never done any of that. And you guys are like, bore. And it's because those people have better stories that we get to imagine in our heads, right? Stories of wild nights and illicit activities and surprise boobs. Surprise boobs, yeah. Regular boobs are great, but surprise boobs out in the wild are the best. No? All right. So I know everybody loves a good drunk story, so I will tell you about the very last time that I was tipsy, all right? It was wine. I was 7 years old, and there was a priest telling me it was a cup of blood, all right? So now look, there's no diddling in this story, all right? This story doesn't loosen your butt cheeks. This story does not end in a Vatican cover-up. It's okay. This story ends with an amazing pun. You'll see. It's going to be great. So it's a first communion rehearsal, right? And look, as far as I'm concerned, you tell a 7-year-old to drink a cup of blood, you don't get to be surprised a few years later when he throws a Slayer poster on the wall. I was like, where's the pentagram, Padre? What are we doing? And he goes, oh, no, it's Jesus' blood. And I said, oh. How long's that been sitting around? Did you check the Best By date on that? That seems like it might be bad by now. And then they explain transubstantiation to us, which is the belief that the bread and the wine literally, not in the modern use of the word literally, which means not literally. But in the ancient form of the word, they believed that the bread and wine turn into the body and blood of Jesus. And I was a curious little kid. I said, well, how does that happen? And they went, it's a mystery. Well, get Fred and Velma down here then, man. Figure it out. Oh, it was Mr. Tompkins, the night manager, the whole time. Good job, gang, but we couldn't have done it without our special guest, the Harlem Globetrotters. Shaggy, stop eating all the Jesus. But zoinks, Fred, like Jesus makes a really good sandwich. Jesus made the sandwich? Like, no, Scoob, Jesus didn't make the sandwich. Jesus is the sandwich. Cue laugh track. Look, I don't care if you guys laugh at that or not. I really don't. I just like doing it. I do it at home by myself in my kitchen. It's fun. I got a whole series brewing in my head. It's going to be great. The next one is Scooby-Doo and the Shroud of Turin. Like carbon dating, Scoob. It's going to be great.
It's a good thing my parents never sent me to Catholic school. Where's your homework? It's a mystery. You just have to have faith that I did it. So at the rehearsal for my first communion, they used real wine in the cups. And I don't know how much experience you guys have working with groups of 7-year-olds, but they're not known for getting shit right the first time. So we're going around. Round 7, wine. Round 8, wine. Round 9, wine. Round 10, Irish car bombs. That seemed over the top. A little much, got a little broy in there all of a sudden. The priest dropped the shot in and went, and now a reading from the first letter of Saint Brody to his Twitter followers. And the Lord did say, chug, 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 show us your tits. The Lord then picked up the weed brownie and said to his disciples, take this brownie and eat from it, for it is my body, no homo. So at the end of the first communion rehearsal, our DDs came to pick us up. And I was like, I don't think I can drive, Mom. Take my keys. And the priest said, now you got to come back Sunday morning for actual first communion, because hair of the dog and all, right? And he said, you got to be here 10:30 Sunday morning for first communion and Wednesday for ladies' night. Now, a lot of churches don't even use real wine in the cups anymore. They use grape juice now, which, I don't know, seems a little juvenile to me. Like now we're getting our Jesus blood from a pouch. Capri Sun, S-O-N. Hey, everybody, we're doing Jesus Go-Gurts next week. Comes in 2 flavors, wild berry and extreme guilt. Grape juice isn't even good for you. It's full of sugar, crap. Why can't they use a healthier juice? Like, I don't know, an acai berry wheatgrass shot or something. Because then you can be like, hey, can I get a whey protein boost in my Jesus blood? Cool, thanks. And I realize that joke doesn't completely make sense because Jesus was killed by the Romans, not the Jamba Jews.
So it's 2 nights before we shoot the first show at Art Boutique for the special, and when I'm not on the road, because I don't like to go on the road right before I'm doing these things, but I still need to like keep the comedy muscles limber, right? So we go out and we do these little shows at out of the way places. It's a restaurant tonight. It's in the back room. I'm going to do 10 minutes just to keep the keep the muscles limber, so that I'm all ready to go for the show on Saturday. And I know the show, but we just have to, keep the words coming out of our mouths on a regular basis. And there's sometimes weird little shows that may or may not have any sort of audience. This one is kind of notorious for that. So anyway, let's go see what this place looks like. All right. Hey, what's up, guys?
Oh, sweet! What's up, Doc? How are you?
All right, man.
Good to see
How you guys doing? Good. Good to see you guys. What's up, Griff? Hey, everybody. Here it is. There's a pool table in the middle of the room, and no audience. So here we go. We're going to do it. That was not a comedy show. That was a support group for comedians.
So I grew up in the Bay Area. I grew up in San Jose, and it's such a wonderful place because there's so many different kinds of people. We get to learn about each other's lives and cultures and walk in each other's shoes a little bit. That's important stuff. Like I'm beginning to understand just a small part of the African American experience in this country, because white people always want to touch my hair too. And if you are a white people and did not understand that joke, you've not been around enough black people. All right? That's all it is. That's all it is. Because look, it's a natural curiosity, different kind of hair, right? Plus, if you see a nice natural afro, you just want to curl up in it with a hot cup of cocoa and watch Netflix all night. It's very inviting. But we don't do that, right? We don't touch other people's hair. It's rude, it's impolite, and a black woman will destroy you. I told that joke one night. I was playing a casino in Southern California, and the whole audience was white, like white. It was like playing the inside of a saltines box. You know what I'm saying? And I told that joke to dead silence, nothing. And then a black gal in the third row stood up and went, "You damn straight!" And I was like, "Woo! Thanks for the save, sister." White women always ask to braid my hair, like I'm some sort of Barbie doll or something. You know, and I get it, fine. We both have big boobs and no genitals. All right. But I'm not gonna let you do it, because I know what you girls do with your Barbie dolls. First, you're gonna braid my hair, then you're gonna chew my feet off, tan me in the microwave oven, and tear my head off and put it on Ken's body. The girls are laughing. The guy's like, "Oh my God, you do that? You're a psycho. What's wrong with you?" Yeah, little girls destroy their Barbie dolls sometimes. People like to intellectualize it. They go, "Oh, it's a feminist message. It's a rejection of sexual stereotypes." No, little kids destroy things. That's what they do. When a little boy is blowing up his G.I. Joes, we don't go, "Well, he's obviously making a commentary about military spending in this country." No, little kids just destroy things like their toys in your life. That's what they do. So no, white ladies, you cannot braid my hair. Black women don't usually ask to braid my hair. Black women will sometimes suggest dreads. They go, "Oh, you should do dreads." And I'm like, "Ooh, white guy dreads. That just says I own more bongs than books. I can't have that." What I think is funny is that black women only hit on me when they're drunk. And they say when you're drunk that it brings out your true personality, which tells me that not every black woman wants a giant dick. Just saying, once you go white, coochie stays tight, all right? We're not gonna stretch you all out. We are like a relaxing vacation after a long, hard work week. You can't go out every night pounding those dark brown Jaeger shots without doing some damage, but you can have a glass of white wine with dinner every night and still get up for work the next day. We are the smooth jazz of dicks. For when you just need a little atmosphere. So many angry white dudes in here right now. Come on, you don't get a big dick and white privilege. You can't have both. Pros and cons, give and take.
Shave it up. Get the extra half inch. Just do it. The guys that aren't making eye contact with me right now have tried it. You're rocking a baldy right now, aren't you, brother? Sucks about 3 days in, doesn't it? You're like, there's a cactus in my pants. Here's my question. As a male, where do we stop shaving? Because ladies, you have a clearing at the edge of the brush. Guys are like the forest moon of Endor. That is the Kiki's body hair joke you'll hear this side of Kashyyyk, guaranteed. You can't leave like a big blank, like nuclear blast zone, mushroom cloud. That's not going to work. Because then you were the subject of your own documentary. Vegetation no longer grows on the site of this disaster. Not even the animals come back to this place. It's gonna look like your male pattern baldness started in a weird spot, is it not? And it is so hard to pull off the leg hair comb over. It really is. Because people notice, they're like, oh my God, that guy's got a comb over and no pants on. Why is he in this daycare center? Years ago, I was telling jokes at an adult toy store in Berkeley, California. Well, there was a show. It wasn't just harassing customers, you know. That one looks too long for you, sir. Now, there was a show at an adult toy store in Berkeley, because Berkeley, and before the show, I was looking at the merchandise, and I realized how different men's and women's sex toys are, right? Men's sex toys are all about, it looks real, it feels real, it's molded from a real porn star, it'll cry after, right? Like all... Women's sex toys are shapes that don't exist in nature. If a dude dropped his pants and it shot straight out and then up at a right angle, you would be like, are you okay? Do you need a doctor? Did you run into a wall? What happened? Why's it gotta be 11 inches long with a hard S curve in it, ladies? That's not fair. We can't keep up with that. Why does it have to look like a chocolate fountain frozen in space-time? We can't deal with that. Why does it gotta be shaped like a sea anemone made out of tongues? It's not fair. Why? Why does it have to shake like a caffeinated chihuahua? Why? If you need that in your life, sit on a chihuahua. And it just made me realize how differently men and women look at each other. A man just wants a woman who's real and willing. Women want a unicorn with a horn that shoots up at a right angle for some reason. A big part of developing a show like this is taking the jokes on the road, trying them out for lots of different kinds of audiences. But another big part of it is just remembering the jokes in the first place, which means rehearsing at home, by myself, looking like a crazy person. My couch has heard these jokes more than anyone else. You know, but as a bonus, I get my step count up for the day as I walk in circles telling jokes to no one, like a crazy person. Here's the things that just pop up. Like the other night we were getting intimate, and I said, yeah, girl, back that thing up. No, to the left, to the left. No, back this way, back this way, back this way. All right, just pull forward and try again. All right, just pull forward and try again. Is that right? No, to the left, to the left. No, back this way, back this way, back. All right, pull forward and just try again. That doesn't seem right. And then she hit someone else. So this song I'm going to do, I imagine some of you are in long-term relationships, married or otherwise, and there's a discussion that comes up in every long-term relationship eventually, and that's what this song is about. Ooh, we've been together a long, long time, and it's always been so good, but baby, it can be better. So when we go golfing on the greens of love, there's only one hole you won't let me putt. Baby, I'll tell you what. Let me put it in your sister. What'd you think I meant? Let me put it in your sister. When she's back from the convent. 'Cause when she comes home for Christmas, I can't help myself. I see her and I wanna put my elf up on her shelf. Let me put it in your sister, whose professional title is also sister.
Now look, baby doll, it's all just a joke. I'd never do such things. You're too important to me. But now when we're alone and we're making love and we're oh so close, you won't seem so glum when I ask to put it in your bum. Let me put it in your keister, baby, just one time. Right up in your chocolate twister. Call me Dr. Cockenstein. It's an exclusive club that only allows in members. And I hope you'll smile when you remember that it's not inside your sister. Thank you.
So the next song I'm going to do for you, it's a very short one, but it's one of my favorites. I like it. And it's a breakup song, but the kind of breakup where, you know, you wish the other person well. I wish only the best for you, and I wish for your happiness too. And I wish for your new boyfriend Steve, motherfucking Steve, to have his nutsack torn wide open in a chainsaw accident. It doesn't take it off, but just opens it right up. So he has to chase his testicles as they're rolling down the driveway while he bleeds out. And I hope that you see them and think, oh my God, I had those in my mouth. Because that's where I found them when I found out you don't love me anymore.
Glad you guys like the guitar stuff, I really do. Because some people make fun of guitar players. They always go, oh, it's a phallic instrument. You're just stroking a giant dick. And that is because a vagina guitar, super hard to play. Can't just jump in and start beating on it. You gotta rub it around the outside first. Real gentle, like then you gotta tap a little button. You're not even sure what the button does, but you know you just gotta keep tapping that button. Rubbing around the outside, tapping the button. Then you gotta get your fingers up inside the sound hole and kind of tap from the top on the inside. And well, if you gotta get deep. If you got short fingers, you're screwed. You better get a pencil or a fish stick or something, because you gotta get pretty deep in there. And then you do all that for like 20 minutes and it makes a little sound. So I'm gonna stick with my dick guitar, if that's all right. I'm gonna do one more song before we go tonight. You guys have been super duper fun. Thank you very much for coming out. This has been great. I'm sure you can tell by looking at me that as a teenager, I listened to a lot of Afro-Cuban jazz. And no? All right. I do now. But back, a lot of metal and hard rock and things like that. And I was listening to a bunch of the old songs from my teenage years a while back, and I thought, wow, these songs probably would never come out now. They're violent, they're misogynistic, homophobic, there's drugs and alcohol all in them and everything. And I thought, wow, I should write something in that vein, but with a more modern mindset about it. So that's what this song is. Lock up your daughters, we're coming for them. Are gonna have some consensual sex. If they don't wanna, we're gonna respect that, cause I'm a good male feminist. Well, it's Saturday night, I'm feeling alright. I manifest gratitude, I'm blessed. Tonight we're gonna rock till an appropriate hour, and then get 8 hours of rest. 8 hours of rest. I wanna rock, and that means being inclusive of people and their cultures without appropriating them. I wanna rock, but that means being conducive to a balanced life of work and play, avoiding all gluten. I wanna rock. Don't drink too much, don't drive, there's Uber. Oh, make sure you're staying hydrated. And then tomorrow, go do some yoga. Your root chakra's looking kind of faded. Well, we're hitting the town and tearing it down. We're gonna up and gentrify this bitch. But we'll always make sure that there's affordable housing. We'll put it underneath a bridge, underneath a bridge. I wanna rock, cause I find my work fulfilling. I invest in companies that are ecologically sound. I wanna rock. I don't need no 401k from a cowboy and a rebel with a maxed out IRA. I wanna rock. I wanna rock. Do you wanna rock? If you don't wanna rock, then that's okay. This is a judgment-free zone. And everybody, to each their own. But I wanna rock. If you don't wanna rock, our difference is just to be embraced. I don't see color, I don't see race. Not even sure you've got a face. Not even sure you've got a face. I wanna rock. Cause you and you got spunk. You'll never hear me use a slur, not even when I'm drunk. I wanna rock. Oh, with respect for your religion, whether Jesus or Muhammad, or a goat with 16 heads, I wanna rock. And I'll tolerate you, I'll tolerate you, I'll tolerate you, tolerate you, I'll tolerate you, I'll tolerate you, I'll tolerate you. Can I have permission to Thanks a lot, you guys. Have a good night. Thank you so much.
My name's Phil Johnson. Have a good night.